Testing 1, 2. What's up, everybody? Little technical difficulty there. Episode 68, and I'm feeling great. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Turn it on. Come on in. All right. Yep. Music. Vinyl. There we go. Howdy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was just on an Amazon shopping spree right before this show. Looking for indoor-outdoor water fountains. Anywho, let's have some fun tonight. It's my favorite day of the week, and yes, I was actually trying to remember a fill that I did. I was in there messing around. Wow, we got a great group. Bill Yawn in the house. Dan P. Dallas. John. Corey Cooper. Ashworth. Yes. I was just goofing around. Some of these songs I wrote 15, 20 years ago, and I'm like, wait, what was I doing? I'd like to re-record some of them, too. Anywho, my voice is a little, Let's giggle about, yes, Bill. Next episode 69, and I was trying to come up with something clever for it, but I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes these evening hours just kind of appear the day of. Today's is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I am definitely a sophomore on the subject, but I've done some research on it, and I think it's kind of cool. And I think tonight is going to be a lot of banter. So, as you know, if you're watching this live, it's an interactive show. By God's, comment, talk, throw ideas out. I'll read them. We'll talk about them. What else was I going to say? Yes! If you're new to the channel, hit that stupid like, hit the subscribe. Down here, I believe, is the subscribe button. Somewhere in there. And then if you look in the description of the show, which is down below, you will see rules for in-chat gaming. And if you're wondering what the heck in-chat gaming is, well, hey, Sherman, what's up, brother? In-chat gaming is run by my bot, and there he is, Zalthon the Tyrant. Yes, banter is cool. That's the whole point of this show. I want people to chat. Zalthon the Tyrant is my moderator. He also runs the in-chat gaming. You can get points and spend them. So anybody that won a prize on this show, with the exception of the two new mystery boxes, Rick Sherman and I think Ashworth, did you just put an order in for I'm building them now. Sherman's, yours is almost done, and Ashworth's, yours is just starting. Yeah, this is going to be cool. I love building mystery boxes. So if you're like, what the heck is mystery box in chat gaming? Look in the description below. And you will see, if you're new to the channel, people in here putting an exclamation point and then writing the word points, like someone will do right now. Let's see who does it today. Who will be in here? I need to get more water. I only have a half a cup here. Nobody? Well, in any minute, you'll see it if you're new. People play games in the chat. They win points. The more you chat, the more points you gain. Somebody once mentioned they didn't think when you chatted you got points. I think you do. My tech guru's son showed it to me. What was I going to show you? It was something I was going to show you. Anywho. Oh, there you go. Dallas is going to do it. See? So that's how it works. So subscribe, play some games, the mystery boxes. Oh yeah, happy birthday, Peter H. Gilmore. Cheers. Hail to Peter H. Gilmore. A good friend, a mentor, and an amazing human being. I don't know what else to say. And I hear he just put out a new essay on gongs. I should post links to these things. I always forget to post links to certain things. Also, I know everybody is on this UFO thing. I was chatting about it last week. I keep chatting about it with lots of people. It is wild fun in the news. So, oh yeah, you got one a while ago. Cool. No, who's getting... Oh, Eric Carr, you're getting the new mystery box. Oh yeah, let's see if Bill Yawn. Oh yeah, there you go. You just won 50 points, see? Once you get to 700, you can get a mystery box. 1,000 points will get you one of my posters. Big or small, I'm not sure which one. Oh, you didn't see it yet, Ruth. I believe it's on the website right now. Yeah. Yeah, what else? UFOs. I was going to say something new, and I can't remember what it was. But I hope, my fingers are crossed, that when they do the report, the Pentagon actually mentions the materials they have. They definitely have them. The original report that was in the New York Times many years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, it was mentioned in there. So I see hints of it, and I'm like, oh, when is that going to come out? I'm curious of what alien or foreign objects we have. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So you remember last week we were going through some of the possibilities of what this UFO could be, and it's literally 100 different things it could be. 100 weird things today. And one of the notions is, what if... Have you ever saw what it would be like if a two-dimensional world experiences a third-dimensional entity, or a three-dimensional world, which is ours, have a fourth or fifth dimensional entity enter? It would be hard to understand what we're seeing. It could be a lot of unknown things or that. But one idea I heard was, what if when you're seeing these UFOs, you're actually looking through a hole? And that thing actually is really far away in another universe or dimension or whatever. And we're actually seeing through these holes, right? I don't know. It was a neat new way to wrap my head around it, which ties into today's subject. Yes. And I don't want to jump on it just yet. Yeah, work this today. So today, my work day was getting ready for... I have a live gig on Wednesday. And my work schedule went from to It went really like, it's really weird right now because I have right now lots of online work. This is going on 3 days a week, and it's a lot of work. But I'm also teaching Zoom classes, and this coming month coming up, I have 16 live gigs booked. 16. No, I mean not live. Live on Zoom. 16. and I have live gigs on top. So I'm starting to get So this weekend, it was a beach weekend. Saturday and most of Sunday, I didn't think about working or anything. I literally didn't put shoes or a shirt on. I was either surfing or barbecuing. It was one or the other. And it was awesome. And I can't wait to do more of that. My Airbnb's busy. If anybody's thinking of coming out here for a visit to Rockaway Beach ever, my Airbnb's pretty awesome. Not going to lie. And I'm not saying that because I run it. I'm saying it because it really is convenient, the location, and it's pretty private. I mean, you are in your own realm. I will never see you unless you want me to. Yeah, so if anybody's interested in Airbnb at a really interesting vacation spot, right here. Who would think of going on a beach vacation in New York City? Well, it's happening. People are doing it now. The history of Rockaway, from what I gather, is a lot of people used to come here for vacations in the 20s and 30s. A lot of rich people had little bungalow houses out here. Then they started taking them farther out, and that's where the Hamptons started showing up. People started going there for their vacations. And here went, and now it's starting to go back up. So, hey, what's up, Amanda? Come on in. So, honestly, yeah, Rockaway Beach is changing quick, for the better, mostly. I don't think we're going to have the gentrification like some of the other neighborhoods because of the big, giant, hard, working class background we have here, and they all own their own homes. So I don't see that changing too quick. Yeah. So it's been a busy, busy week. And I'm going to jump into this subject because it's Monday. It's my favorite day of the week. I have a million things to do after. I'm not rushing the show. I'm just saying my brain is like, I have a lot of things going on. And I really, really want everybody here tonight to add their 2 cents to the conversation. Please do. It's a subject that to me really is the good one for a juicy chat because you can hitch a ride to Rockaway Beach. You might get mugged, but yeah, you can. Uh-oh, I have something in my allergies are killing me. Ow. I feel like someone's putting powder in my eyes, and I'm trying not to take the medicine because it makes me messed up. What? Lily's Crossing. Wow, I never heard of it. In the 40s. Wow, that's really interesting. I'm going to look that up. Lily's Crossing. I mean, this neighborhood's super unique. There's nothing like it. It's not like Coney Island. It's not like Long Island. It's very unique. So, we have the best food in New York City. I'm not lying. Yeah, tonight's subject is something I've been wanting to get into so much. You know what? I usually start at 15 after. I am going to, let's talk about this. Right here. Brainwashed to See Colors with a question mark. I titled today. And I gotta be honest, I actually don't like that title. I usually enjoy my titles. That one doesn't really cover what I'm going to do today in the best way. I wanted to use the word color because colors, you know, blue, red, white, black, is one of the things that's going to be used to dissect the real subject. And the real subject is called linguistic relativity, and it's a meaty subject, and we're gonna chat right now. Hold on, I'm gonna go get another can of water because I am thirsty, and in the meantime I'm going to play a commercial. So hold on a second, let me go get some water.
Captain Crunch presents Breakfast on the Guppy. Morning already, Sea Dog? Where's the crew? All hands on deck! Pirates off the port bow!
This ought to fetch 'em. It's Captain Crunch, the cereal named after me. Captain Crunch, delightfully sweet, sugar sweet, and fun to munch 'cause it keeps its crunch. So crisp, it never uncrunches, not even in milk. Now,
Anybody for a bowl of Captain Crunch?
scuttle my hornpipe, sea dog. There's people at breakfast I never saw before. Oh, man's got to be careful when he says Captain Crunch. Now it's your grocer's, Captain Crunch, the cereal that's named after me.
Captain...
Love it. Okay, I got my water. Super thirsty. So, I've been drinking this one a lot. Vintage seltzer. I've heard that is good for allergies, actually. Yes, thank you for that. Should look into that more. So, here we go. Linguistic relativity. Well, how I came about this subject is I remember hearing that in the old days, people didn't see the color blue. It's like, what? And then I was like, yeah, they didn't see blue until they had a word for it, and then they started seeing it. Huh? What are you talking about? Well, that is a partially correct statement, and that is what we're going to talk about tonight, because to me, that right there is a can of worms like no other. Mama's in the house. What's up, Mama? You remember Carol Burnett used to do this to say hi to her mom. Yeah, good tip, though. So, yeah. What the heck, man? What do you mean people didn't see the color blue? Well, here's something fascinating. I'm going to jump ahead here. In Homer, in his book, The Odyssey, which is one of the oldest epic things ever written, the color black is mentioned 170 times. The color white is mentioned 100 times. The color red, 13. Yellow, 10. And green, 10. And blue, nothing. What? That's weird. Most ancient cultures didn't really mention blue. Now, when I say in nature, there's not a lot of blue, you'd be like, wait, what about the sky or the ocean or blue eyes? Or wait, I mean, it's clearly the sky is blue, right? Well, let's get into that. My mind has been blown about this because it to me gets into the realm of magic and the power of our words. I'm messing with incense right now. Pardon me. And so here it is. Linguistic relativity. Linguistic meaning our language, and relativity meaning relativity. It's not all that. It depends. So for instance, there are two hypotheses. One is considered the strong one is considered the weak one. The strong one is also called linguistic. The peacock, though, is iridescent blue. That's important. I'm going to talk about that later. A lot of the natural blues we encounter aren't blue. They're iridescents, like butterfly wings and stuff. Yeah, it's really weird. So, okay. Linguistic determinism. Language determines thought. And linguistic categories limit and determine cognitive categories. That's a pretty heavy thing if you think about it. Language determines thought. Our words determine thought, our language. Wow. Okay, that's the strong point. The weak one is linguistic categories and usage only influence thought and design, or in decisions. That one seems a little more easier to understand, right? Our words that we use, they influence our thoughts and how we make decisions. They don't determine it. Well, you know me, I've been on this deterministic kick. I keep talking about it. I don't like the word fate. I like the word determinism. Why? Because the word is loaded. Like this is... as you'll see, there are words in my life I've gotten rid of for a reason. I don't use the word God very rarely, or spiritual, or spirit. I cut them out of my... I basically cut them out of my vocabulary. And the word fate, I don't like either. I like deterministic. So this whole notion, there was a few guys that wrote about it, but there was this guy named Worf in the 30s. And he discovered that there's a Hopi tribe, the Hopi Native American. They didn't have a word for the word time. And so the way they talked about what we would call time was very different. And it wasn't that they didn't talk about time. It's just they had a different approach to it. And that's what he wrote about. And that's just one example of the beginnings of someone noticing what this is. Now, let's go to... I'm going to skip the colors for a second. There's another culture. Here we go. Oh, this is so cool. Aboriginal group from down under. The Kooktire people. Kooktire. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. The Kooktire people, they don't have a word for left or right. They don't use it. If you're like, which direction to go, they literally give a cardinal point. They also, if you say, which arm are you using? They'll say, my northwest arm. Well, okay, right now, my left hand is my south arm. That's literal south. That's literal north. So that would mean every time I'm talking to somebody, I'd have to refer to their south hand or right hand or south leg or right leg. And just that alone, stop and think about that. A culture that lives like that. Like if I say to you right now, point north. Right now, point north, wherever you're sitting in your house. Most of you can't do it. Some of you can. You're walking down the street. Most people don't pay attention to the real true cardinal directions. Surfers do, because we're all talking about the wind and the direction of the wind and all that stuff. Certain groups do, some groups don't. But imagine going up to one of these Aborigine dudes and asking him where's north, south, east. They know all the time. How does that shape your thoughts, your spatial awareness, your mind, getting rid of left and right? It's a big loaded subject. So here we go. Let's go back to those colors again. The reason why this is mind-blowing is they discovered, and this is like, wow, every single culture on Earth introduced color in the same way. Color in their language and talking about it. Okay, here it is. This is the order of color discovery. Black and white. Black and then white. And they probably came about at the same time. Then came red. Then yellow. Occasionally green would come before that, but basically yellow, then green, and then finally blue shows up. Now what's weird is that every culture developed that system one after another in that pattern. That means something. It's not random. It means something. It means it's hardwired, maybe. It means it's determined already. Black and white. Why do people notice black and white first? Well, that's night and day. That's lights are off, lights are on. Sun's out, cave is dark, clear. Why red? Well, every culture saw blood, and if you see blood, that means something. Pain, danger, I don't know. Also, one of the guys said a galvanistic skin response. You're embarrassed, your face turns red. You're excited, your lips are a little plusher. Right? That's red. Yellow and green, That's plants. That's food. That's ripened. That's a ripe product, a not ripe product. It's more now. Blue is the one that's least encountered. You say, what about the sky and the ocean? We'll get to that. But Dallas just brought something up I need to look up. It said, I read somewhere that humans didn't start dreaming in colors until color television was introduced. For some reason, that does not make sense to me. To me, there's no logic in that, but I could be clearly wrong in that. I'm going to look it up. And if anybody right now is sitting in front of a Google, go ahead and look it up. That's interesting. I don't know how that would be. But blue is not that popular in nature. We don't have a lot of blue foods. We have blueberries, but they again, you could call them black. That's what most cultures call dark blue. We have the sky, we have the ocean. We'll get to that in a second. Animals, I think someone brought up peacocks. Ruth, you did. Most animals, blue is rare, and it's iridescent sometimes. Yeah, that's true. Red is the danger color. Yeah, that's why it's number 3. Very popular color. And so blue is the one it's just not that busy in nature. So there's a couple cultures. Check this out. I'm going to show you right now. Here's a color wheel. Boop. Okay. If I say to everybody, look at that color wheel and pick the odd color out, we definitely can pick out the light blue. Oh, it is an urban legend? All right, Bill. There you go. Bill Yon stepping up saying urban legend. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't have a logic to it. Like, how does television... What is the difference? It's a 2-dimensional version of real life. So maybe that had something weird to do to our minds, but... Okay, there it is. That color wheel. So, the scientist guys showed that color wheel to a lot of groups, and the Himba people of Nambia, they saw that color wheel. And yes, they picked out the blue, but it took a while. And the only analogy I would think of is it's like this. If I showed you a color wheel of reds and pink was on there, you would go, well, the only color that doesn't belong here maybe is pink. That's how we would do it, right? It's like that. Blue was part of the pantheons of green. Or it was part of the pantheon of black. It went into that category. So it's almost like by calling it blue and not a shade of green, our brain put it in a new box. We went, there it is. Just like pink. If you said name 50 colors, you'd be like red, yellow, blue, red, green, purple. When you start getting down to like pink, periwinkle, turquoise, but pink would be on there. You wouldn't say a light red. You'd say pink. So it has its own box. The new name for a color makes a feedback loop, and it exaggerates the differences between the two. And the fact that they came about in a sequence of how we evolved to notice these colors and use them for survival purposes says something to me. And giving it a word says something too. This subject's almost like, gives me a headache thinking about it, because I start to daydream of what else this implies. I'm not getting to that page yet. Yeah, Homer described the ocean as wine dark. Wine dark? That's a really weird... I don't know. It's just a really weird way to say it. Wine dark? God. It's not blue. I mean, God. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. here's where I start going into magic. So, what does this mean, man? They're trying to say here. Now, so what do I believe? What do you believe? Does it just merely influence, like, going down to the strong and weak hypothesis, language determines thought. Huh. And language comes about how? I'm not a linguist, but it would seem that words come out. I mean, dude, caveman invented words, right? When someone would get burned by a meteor that fell to the earth and started a fire, they'd be like, "Ha!" And "ha!" and ended up becoming the word fire. I feel a sense of depth with that description. Yeah, a bit, like so much depth that I'm like, oh God, what? Wait a second, what? Wait, what other words shape our thoughts? So think about speaking a language, learning French, learning Chinese. I remember when I first started learning some Chinese because, I was forced to. I was in Taiwan running around just trying to figure out what to do. I realized they had a lot of idioms. So if you say to somebody, how are you? I'm good. It would be, hao bu hao? Oh, wo shi hen hao. I am very good. Wo shi am good. Very good. Hen hao. How is good. If you want to say to somebody, if you want to say I'm so, ni hao ma? You'd say, wo shi ma ma hu hu. Mama hoo hoo. Mama hoo hoo is horse, tiger, tiger. How you feeling today, Joe? I'm a little horse, little tiger. I'm guessing in the pantheon of animals, they're opposites. At any rate, anytime you're asked how you're feeling, you're bringing up a horse and a tiger. That means something of how your brain looks at the world. How about this? How about all the languages that have masculine and feminine words? All objects are either, I don't know, does anybody speak French? What's a can? Is it a boy or a girl? What's a cup? They're all different. I believe in Germany, bridge is female, and in Spanish, it's male. So they did an experiment. They said to a German guy, describe the characteristics of a bridge. And the guy was like, well, they're kind of sleek and elegant. They have like a gentle slope that's pleasing to the eye. And then when they asked the Spaniard, describe a bridge, he's like, it's very big and strong and built to last and solid. So they literally use words to describe it, having the pronoun of the word dictate it. That's a big deal. So when I start thinking about just language in general, does that mean when you learn a foreign language, because of the words used, the order of the words used, how the sentence structure is, it literally dictates how you're going to be thinking? Almost as if learning another language, you get to install a little bit of a, I don't want to say a new brain, but maybe a new set of goggles. Oh my gosh, wait, this is great. We could change using the word blue and we would describe that color now on. We could use the word Smurfs when referencing that color. Oh God, I love it. Well, if you watch Smurfs, they use the word Smurf for a million things. It's kind of wonderful. Like, oh my gosh, he smurfed it up. They use it for like swear words. They use it for, I'm so smurfed over it. Maybe we'll start using the word Smurf for blue. Gosh, that girl's got the prettiest Smurf eyes. It's so funny. So languages, maybe it's like more like goggles. When you learn a language, it's like putting on a pair of goggles that you get to see through a different way. I really do believe, I've traveled. And when I meet people from other lands, especially far away, like Russians or Asians or Japanese. It's people that are literally far away from here. I always notice the difference in mode of thought and values and everything. Whenever I tell people about Japan, I'm like, look, the first time I went to Asia was Taiwan. I'm like, look, everything's different. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, everything's different. The bricks, the plants, the animals, the language, the junk food at 7-Eleven, the gasoline pumps, and then the value systems. Very different. How people behave in public, how they treat their friends in public. Like, everything has a different nuance to it. And I just think it's made me realize that talking about what we're talking about right now almost is as the incense is overpowering right now. I'm not going to be lying. It's like, look at this. It's really strong. Yeah. Anywho. It to me reminds me of astrology. Now, one of the reasons why I was never a fan of astrology, look, I like tarot cards and a lot of other weird divination things and occult science and all that stuff. But for me, astrology was the one I never liked. Mostly the aesthetic of it I never liked. But I always thought, well, of course the stars influence your birth, and so does everything else. The weather, the temperature, your longitude and latitude, your mom, your dad. I mean, everything does. And so the position of the stars and everything when you're born, well, clearly they have some sort of influence, but there's no way of categorizing it. Come on. The other thing I never liked about astrology is I do believe if you read your reading every day, that it works. Why? Because you're reading it. Just the act of reading it's going to change your brain. So I don't really want my brain changed by some lady sitting in an office writing astrological stuff, unless I really like what she's doing or I trust her, or, like, I just the act of reading it changes your mind. So it's like the notion of flipping a coin. Heads, you're going to have a good day. Tails, you're going to have a bad day. I do think that works because it aligns your mind to that for the rest of the day. So after reading this color blue and language thing, and it just made me realize how important these words are that I use to talk to you, for you to talk to me. It made me realize how much I can change with a word. I can change myself. I can change you just by the words I'm using. Add the tonation behind it, the theatrics behind the word, and you add another layer to that. To me, that's a deep, deep, deep thing to think about. You did. Oh, I would listen to your horoscopes, Ruth, because I like you. You're my friend. Yeah, just random people reading horoscopes. I don't like reading. I don't know why. Never did. I really... Amanda just brought something else up. She said she reads her astrology at the end of the day and see how it applied. Interesting. To me, it all works if you let it work. When people go, it's all baloney. It's like, well, yes and no. And I can only say that because I do magic for a living. My fake magic is able to accomplish what people think real magic accomplishes. And vice versa. Fake magic, I can literally dictate what people remember by watching a magic trick. And that's what I wanted to go into for this last chunk of time here, because let's talk, ask questions. I found someone invented a language, Lojban. Anybody here hear of Lojban? Lojban is a logical language. And I looked it up, and I started trying to study it a bit. Supposedly, if you learn how to do Lojban, it changes your life. Um, well, yeah, I am, Ruth. And Ruth is right. The cosmos is changing, so any chart you have is never the same. But Lojban, every word means exactly what it means. It doesn't have multiple meanings like our language. So they basically logically made it so that whatever you mean to say, it's exactly how you meant to say it. It was invented for almost like a computer to understand, and then people started messing around with it. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of neat. It's like blockchain for language. It's like it works perfectly. There's no way to mess with it and make it maybe mean something else. So think about writing a religious text in Lojban. It's like there's nothing to interpret. It is what it means. Wow, that's kind of cool, actually. And like I said, I stopped using certain words, like the word God, in my language when I talk to people. I never bring up the word God because I assume everybody's concept of it is crazy different. And how dare I even bring it up? Because even people that go to the same religious doctrine way, even they have different ways of looking at it or imagining it in their mind. And to me, that means something. When I present so everything that I do, I try to apply it to magic. Why? Because it's what I do. It's how it's my lifestyle. It's my craft. It's my art. It's my communicator. It's my means of seeing the world. I love Abramson's notion, his definition of magic. Carl Abramson, his definition of magic is. I always like that. I think it's a really great. And I always run everything through magic. So I'm like, well, what is magic? Well, I'm presenting a moment of wonder using something impossible. Something impossible happens in real time that causes wonder. And so in real time, meaning not theater time, not like, okay, it's showtime now, let's have a magic trick. No, it's not like that. It's happening in real time. If someone's in my house and they say, do magic, I don't go paint on a mustache and put on a funny hat to go do it. I just do it. There are magicians that do that. I don't know what you would call that. That's not magic to me. If I'm on stage and I'm going to do magic, it's the same. I'm like, hey, does anybody have a coin I can borrow? And I'm actually asking to borrow a coin. And then they give me the coin, and then I do something impossible with it. It disappears, and it ends up in a piece of fruit. I don't know. So I'm making something happen in real time. And then it creates wonder. Now, what's the important part? The trick or the memory? All right, let's think about this. The trick, well, it has to happen. Because if that doesn't happen, there ain't no memory. So I guess technically the trick is the most important part. But let's just say the trick is really basic. Something really simple. Like, I don't know, you're going to make a pencil move an inch by unseen forces. Well, oh yeah, Lojban. There it is. So let's say the magic trick is a pencil's going to move an inch from unseen forces. Well, that has to happen. But the memory of it is what the person carries away. They not only carry it away, it's all they have left. And I always say the present doesn't exist because it's not a thing. It's a moving wave. And so the trick happens, but it's like, it's just a moving wave. It doesn't live anywhere when it's happening. It does live in the past. And so that memory is what they leave with, and that is the wizard's golden tool, is how using what they know to make that memory more powerful. than just what the experience had happened. So the experience happens, but while the pencil's moving, I'm layering it with what I say and what I do with my arms and my facial expressions and all the tools that I have to solidify some ideas that are going to accompany the moving pencil. I have words to implant in their minds. Maybe I say something, but my hands actually do something else. What are they going to remember? Well, shaman figured this stuff out, millennia, thousands of years ago. And they realized that if they phrase things certain ways, your brain sees it in a certain way. Isn't that what advertising is? Now, it would seem that if you're going to do long-term change, you have to develop the habit. Like I'm always saying, if you want to change your belief, a belief, that is not easy, but it can be done. You can change someone's belief patterns. It can be done. Now, what does that mean for this written word? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, we didn't speak right away. Words came later, right? Now I'm actually thinking about this. Words did not come, clearly words didn't come first. We grunted first. We went from a chipmunk running underneath dinosaur toes to a little bit of a bigger chipmunk to a thing with arms and fingers that looks kind of like an early version of a monkey type. And eventually our became words. So we were thinking before we had words. But maybe our hardwired survival thinking, maybe they made us go in a certain direction. I don't know. I wish I was a linguistic I mean, all of this fun banter that we're doing, all it does is drive me nuts because I want to keep learning more. And I do. That's why I revisit some of these ideas. Wow, this thing is still cooking. Amazing. It's pinon incense, Pinon, with one of those above the N. You can get these anywhere. This is a very cheap little thing, and the pinon incense is good. It's not junky incense because it's real wood. It's not chemical. Wow. I mean, all this did was make me realize how much more important I need to pay attention to my words. I mean, what else is like this? What if, I mean, honestly, the way politics work and religions work and how we divide people and the language we use and how we describe people. I mean, you'll see like bad people use inhuman words to describe the other, the enemy. They're dehumanizing them. And guess what? It works. If you keep dehumanizing people and things, they become that. You know, you eventually start to see it that way. It's clear. To me, this thing, after just looking at it briefly, became very clear that it's real. If you give something a new word, you're going to see it differently. That's why I pay attention to definitions. You'll always hear me saying that. I'm always looking up definitions. Why? Because if I'm going to talk to somebody about something, we do have to kind of agree on what the definitions are, or else we can't start. Once we can, that's why a lot of good debates don't happen. They never take off. Why? Because they can't agree on word definitions. I've seen this. I've seen really good debate people go into a debate and it's like, it's molasses because they're sticklers for these word meanings. So why? Because of this. Words, I like looking at this hypothesis. Language determines thought, or linguistic categories and usage influence thought and our decisions. Just take that after tonight's episode. If you take anything out, just take that home and think about that, of how important that might be, of how big of an idea that actually is. That's a big idea. And to me, that is where what magic is. Now, when I think of magic as a personal tool for betterment or to influence something, that's part of it too. How it's talked about, how it's not talked about. One of the things I think occultists miss out on, and I am going to write an essay on it eventually, is in the notion of mystery and what not to do, like the empty parts, the holes, if you will. And to me, that means something. Like, if you want to influence something with occultistic energies, maybe telling people about it might trigger it. But maybe by telling them about it, it kind of flips it over and it doesn't work. That's the key to the problem that you have to figure out using psychology and studying human behavior and studying not just psychology, but the biology of how the brain works. That's my new trip. It's not just like, I need to understand human psychology. It's like, no. I need to understand the literal science to how the spark of thought hits the brain in its certain spots. I've gotten very good now at meeting people and pretty quickly seeing what part of the brain they're responding with. And it's made me aware of what I'm doing. I am very dramatic when I talk to people, especially publicly or in a showbiz format. I have reasons for turning myself up to 11. I enjoy it, but it's also like a way of communicating better for me. I'm a better communicator sometimes. I like to emphasize and jazz ideas with my arms and legs, and I do overact. But if somebody says something to me important or serious or threatening, I really consciously now feel what's going on. And I can feel my basal ganglia, my early brain stuff, like wanting to react. You know, like if somebody says something stupid online, I'm like, like, you know, you feel it. It's your lizard brain doing the fight reaction or the flee reaction. And when I meet people now and I'm just talking like, you know, banter, I can kind of see where it's going. I can kind of tell pretty quickly if someone's good at not doing that and responding using their neo brain. So as an occultist, if you're trying to influence somebody, you need to know those things. If you don't know those things, you're not going to be making a good decision on how to approach the problem. Same thing with magic. Now with a magician gig, I got to do it within seconds. I show up to a group of people and I'm like, hey, what's up? Want to have some fun? In their reaction to just me saying, hey, what's up? I'm the magic guy. Want to have some fun? I can tell a lot by their facial expressions, their, you know, the words they use. Now, here's another one. Magic culturally. The word magic in different cultures has completely different meanings. And I have to understand that. I have to understand when someone hears the word magic in the Caribbean, what do they think of? If I say the word magic, a lot of Caribbean people are like, voodoo. They're like, If I say the word magic to a Russian guy, they're like, ooh, magic? You can't trick me. I'm also tricky. Go right ahead. So for them, magic's almost like a chess match. I have to understand this. And so to me, that's what this is. It's just opened up my head to paying attention to cultural differences, word culture differences. I just learned Russia has two different words of saying blue. And they did a little bit of a test where they hooked up people's brains to a machine and saw that the Russian guy was able to distinguish blue colors way quicker than a non-Russian guy. Why? Because they had words for it. I heard Eskimos, or they're not called Eskimos anymore. I think it's considered rude to call them that. I think Inuit is the preferred term these days. The Inuit, they have like 10 different words for snow. We have 2, wet snow and ice snow. But they have like a whole, why? Because they need them. trying to think. Oh, I've heard Arabic, and someone can tell me if I'm wrong on this, has many different words for states of being, which I'm going to look that up after the show. That's kind of cool. So if someone says, how you're feeling today? I'm a little tired. They might have another way of saying that that's way more specific, which means if I knew what that was, I might feel it. But right now, I just feel a little tired. I had a long, busy day. But if they had a more specific way of phrasing it, like I have, what's also a myth? That Arabic has different states of being in their language. If it's not Arabic, it's another culture then. There's a few cultures, I think, that have different words to describe. Tell me what that means. Oh, the words for snow is a myth? I didn't know that. I'm going to look it up. See? Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I mean, think about it. If I had okay, why am I tired right now? I'm a little tired. I've only yawned once, but see, by mentioning yawning, it's going to make me yawn. Watch. See? Yawning works like that. So, I'm tired because I drank a lot of coffee. There's a crash, and I did a lot of reading today. So, okay. I'm going to look that up. That's cool, Ruth. Thank you. So maybe there's a word in another culture that's like that. I'm a little blah. What would be a good word for that? I'm a little kerfuffled. How do you feel today? I'm kerfuffled. It literally would mean coffee hangover, been reading all day. You know? And to me, that's really neat. That having a word literally changes. Oh, you see? Once you yawn, that's it. Drinking water helps. So, wow, our words, our language, so powerful. This is why I have a problem when I meet people who mumble. One of my pet peeves is people who mumble. They don't speak with distinction. They don't speak clearly. I don't think kids are taught in school to have good speaking voices. Everybody should be taught how to speak well. Everyone. Why? Because it's our means of expressing our emotions and our feelings and what we're trying to get across. And if you're a bad communicator, that's not good. Where's my book? This book in college was hammered into my... Oh, my belt just came apart. Edith Skinner, Speak with Distinction. This is how I learned how to write in a phonetic alphabet. They came up with like a standard American way of speaking. It was codified here in this book. God, this book was $32 30 years ago. That's a lot of money. God. Yeah. Best book. Kevin Kline, the actor, said, the best book on speech I have ever encountered. So in college, man, we were taught to speak clearly. I mean, really, we even got down to the S's and Z's. Everybody say the word eggs. If you're at home in TV land, say it, eggs. Okay? Eggs. Notice that when you said it, that the last letter came off sounding like S. Eggs. It sounds like an S. I doubt anybody made it sound like a Z. Well, standard American dialect, if it's a voiced consonant, G, the S goes voiced. Eggs. If it's not a voiced consonant, what ends with a K? Picks. Like an ice pick. If there were two of them, you'd say picks. It wouldn't be a Z. It wouldn't be picks. So, to buy back the book, I wish. I actually like this book, and I look at it. Let me fix my belt. So yeah, like that little detail, who cares? Well, when you're speaking fast and clear, it tightens it up. So we would do an exercise, s, z, s, z, sh, j, ch, ja. You'd say the voiceless and then the voice. S, z, sh, j, ch, ja. And we go, s, z, sh, j, ch, ja. And you got to do them quick. So eggs. Just a little trick you can do. But yeah, that means something. So I always thought people should learn how to speak clear. Why? Everything really changes how you think. Your words, how you use them, how you reflect on the words you use, it all changes your thought. The way we view things, the way we view time, the way we package things in our brain come from our language. That's crazy. That's important. It means you shouldn't throw it in the garbage. Everything means something. Everything goes together, even our words and our word choices. It's why I don't use certain words. It's why I introduce certain words to my life, because I want to change myself. You can flip this around the other way and be like, I want to make myself do this. So I'm going to start using words this way. That's what occultists do. We bend the rules to suit us how we want. We might take a mythological thing that's seen one way and apply it in another. That's what that is. So this to me is a very interesting occult science notion to it all. And it's really fascinating. And it just makes me think more and want to learn more. I don't have any real answers to this or where it goes. People are like, what do you need to know this for? Well, if somebody asks me, why bother? Why bother? Well, I have a natural desire to learn these things. And by learning them, I feel like it's easier to live. I'm able to understand things more. And the more I understand things, the less angry I am. I'm going to be honest. I come from a world where, yeah, I've had lots of times in my life where I'm really angry and just like, But once I understand what makes somebody stupid, I'm not as angry at their stupidity. I mean, especially when I started realizing about how we evolved and how our brains work. If someone evolved to only use the lizard part of their brain and to run rampant and just react to everything like a fool, I don't like it. I don't like that person's behavior. But I'm not like, I hate you. Why? It's like hating, to me, it's like hating a tiger that ate somebody that you know. If a tiger, I did a little research on this. If a serial killer killed a family member and you went to see them in a jail, but they didn't see you, let's say from afar, you might be like, oh, I hate that person. But if you saw a tiger that ate your cousin in the zoo, you wouldn't be like, I hate you, tiger. I hate you. I personally wouldn't. I'd be like, it sucks what happened, but wow, that tiger ate my cousin. I know why he did. He's on the dinner menu, and he was right there. Sad, unfortunate. So, yeah, knowing, thinking, and understanding makes me just want to know more. And I think by knowing more and wanting to learn more, it helps our old age too. And I'm going to end on this. One of the driving factors of our lives is we're always dying. We're on the road to death. As we get older, our chance of dying goes up. And by understanding things and wanting to know more, doesn't that make your brain, like, make the cells keep moving? It makes the memory cells better and stronger. It makes life more fulfilling. When I wake up in the morning, I'm actually genuinely excited to treasure hunt in my philosophy books. I'm literally like, ooh, what am I going to learn? What am I going to discover today that's going to make me go, wow. I'm looking for wonder too. You know, I just choose not to find it in worshiping a deity that I didn't even invent, that some other people invented, or signing up to be part of some sort of group that has an ideology that I need to agree with to be part of. I've never done that. Any group I've joined up with, I was born with that ideology. And I'm like, hey, you are too? Wow, that's weird. Let's go hang. Right? That's how I've always been. I've never had to change I've never had to become something. Like, I think I'm going to become this. I've never done that. It's just, I just was it, or I learned it. Who's got the points? I see someone's got crazy points. Oh, wow. There you go. Someone's got almost 700 points. Cassandra M. Yeah. All right, Cassandra, you can get a mystery box, or you can go for that poster. The posters are, once they're done, they'll never come back again. Anywho, I think by studying this stuff, it really does help you age by keeping your curiosity going, keeping that moment of wonder, of discovery going, and on top of it, you're literally using your brain cells to do something new. I always tell, my mom knows this, we're always talking about it. When you get old, you should learn new hobbies and find new things to read and study. When I call my mom on the phone, we talk like this, what we're talking about now. I don't have many people I can talk like this with. I have some friends. But I like to go over these ideas over and around and search them out. And it, like, you know, somebody mentioned that the Eskimo thing is an urban myth. Thank you. I really thought that was real, and I swore I looked it up once, but I believe you. I'll look it up again, but I think the reason why people believe that urban myth is because it makes sense. And it is true. It's just not that's true. You know, and so it just kind of fit in. Maybe somebody brought it up as an analogy to some of these other things I mentioned, and it became fact. You know how I always say truth isn't fact, or facts aren't the truth. Maybe that's what it is, how that came about. Wow, all right, I'm still talking. We got a big group in here again. I am flattered I can hold your attention this long, folks. Thank you. I like chatting, so whenever I have an audience to talk to about something I'm learning about, my golly, I'm going to learn it. Oh, you're going to go for the mystery box? Well, order it. I'm putting 2 together this week. So if you order a mystery box, it'll either go out this week or like next Monday. And they're all different. Everybody's getting different things. Some of you might get a few things. Most of you will get at least one squishy. But you never know. I might throw a t-shirt in. I might throw some stickers. Who knows? You might get some random junk. It's fun. It's fun for me to put them together. And so if you're new to the channel, look, I don't beg for tips here. I hate that. But if you want to donate, there it is. Boom. I like donations. They pay for my channel. They pay for a lot of things I'm doing. And my donors bought all my equipment. My golly. Thank you, William. Thank you. Oh, Sherman has enough for a poster now. So I'm flattered that anybody watches this show. I have a really good, solid group that shows up. The only thing I really ask is if you're new and you're having fun, just subscribe, hit the notify bell, like the posts, tell your friends. I have a lot of people in here that do that, and to me, that actually means more than anything. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I am almost at 750. Getting subscribers on this channel is really hard because if you're under 1,000, you're technically shadow banned, meaning you don't really show up on searches and only people that know about it will see it. As soon as you get to a better number, they literally go boop and hit a button and your algorithm shifts a bit. I'm getting there. I can't wait because when that happens, the show gets better. I get more tips. I get a little bit of a bigger audience. There's a little bit more I can do. If I start making real money with this channel, I literally will do road trips. I have a buddy who does this, and he flies all over the world now tasting fruit. Not kidding. So I'm hustling this the real way, and I like doing it. There's no planning on stopping it. No way. So cheers, everybody. Next episode is episode 69. Ooh. I don't think I'm going to do anything specific to that title. Maybe I will. I doubt it. I have some ideas of what Wednesday's going to be and what Friday might be. And if it's not, I'll do a wild card. And believe it or not, some of my favorite episodes we did here were my wild cards. I was thinking of telling a little bit of my story of when I went to Asia for the first time. It was my first time out of the country, and I really didn't know anything. And maybe I'll tell that story. I went to Taiwan, life-changing. I was very young, too. So yeah, that's coming up this week, maybe. Wow, what a great show, folks. I'm going to go look up some of these things that we talked about tonight and study more. You did. All right. Cassandra M., you ordered a mystery box. That is awesome. All right, cool. So there's some mystery box going out. 1, 2. Yeah, I have 2 here getting ready. I'm piecing them together. I take it seriously. I don't want you to be disappointed. I actually like being Santa Claus with these. Yeah, if you're wondering what we're talking about, these mystery boxes, it's the in-chat gaming. So if you show up to this show and just start jumping in, please, if you're in here watching all the time, stop being shy. Come out and say, hey, what's up, and participate. That's what we do. We chat, and I have a killer crowd in here. Yeah, you guys can share what you're getting. Some of you get some similar stuff. Folks, I had a good time tonight. It's Monday, my favorite day of the week, and I'm going to go do some research. So I'm going to bounce out with my outro, and yeah, I have nothing else to say. I had a good one. Thank you, everybody. Cassandra, Helen, Corey, William, Amanda, Ruth is in the house. Ruth, when's the book coming out? I can't wait. I'm dying. Yeah, this is great. Anybody that I missed, I'm sorry. Party on, everybody. Monday night. I'll see you Wednesday. Over and out.